Are you sick and tired of playing against this leader? What about this one? Or this one? Right now it feels like a triangle, and it might feel like hell for a little bit, but with OP14 right around the corner, I think we have some saving grace and a bunch of new leaders. Let's talk about it. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day and a fantastic week, and I hope you continue to have a fantastic week. But for right now, let's go ahead and jump into the OP14 7 Warlords of the Sea meta that's going on in Japan right now. So if you don't know, this set comes out, I believe, in middle-ish January for America, and I'm super excited for it. I am really excited because we get half of the EBO4 cards in it. I believe we get the blue, green, and purple cards. So that's really going to shake things up here for America and everywhere that gets access to the English sets, because we're going to get to develop our own meta for once. And I guess I say for once, but we've done that before with these starter decks. But I digress. It's going to be very interesting because I think that these cards are going to be very powerful and can really shift how a deck is played. It gives a lot of support to past decks. It gives a lot of support to new decks, and we might even get a new leader. Who knows? But one thing that we won't have is EBO3. We actually get that, I believe, a month later than OP14. So we'll be missing a couple cards, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in here, but there's a couple decks that are really riding the high of some of those EBO3 cards, and specifically the yellow ones are really, really strong. So let's just go ahead and start talking about it. You know, we can look at this, and I don't think there's a way to sort this. I am on One Piece Top Decks. I'll have a link to the website down in the description below if you've never used it. It's a great website to source deck lists and look at information, and they write articles, all kinds of stuff. If you're playing the One Piece TCG, I highly recommend checking out this website. But as we can see off the bat, there is a lot of emu still. There is, well, I say a lot of emu, but we've only seen a couple. There's a lot of Mihawk. There's a lot of Dofi. There's still a lot of Ace. But, I mean, you can see it's pretty diverse. I really cannot tell you how much more diverse this looks than the OP13 one does. The OP13 one is just Ace and Emu and a little bit of Zoro. And actually, if you look, there's like no Zoro. There's one right here, and one right here, but Mihawk, I'm pretty sure, just kind of shits on Zoro, and nobody wants to play Zoro when Mihawk's in the room. So Mihawk is one of those decks where I think that it has the potential to be the best deck in the room, but it takes a very high, I don't want to say very high skill ceiling. You really have to hit your curve perfectly, and I think if you do and you see the right cards, you can definitely win some good games. But I think the sleeper deck, and we've seen it in, I believe it was a large championship tournament I just watched the other day, Dofi, I think, is the sleeper pick. At the beginning here, you can see nobody was really playing Dofi. There's one top and then another one. But as we go on, there's a couple more and a couple more. And I really think that Dofi is going to be the deck to beat. And we'll talk about that here a little bit more in just a minute. But as you can see, there's a couple decks in here like EB3 Vivi. And there is also, if you look down here, some OP11 Nami. And those are responsible for the EBO3 set is responsible for those being in here. Because Nami got quite a big boost. And I guess any yellow Straw Hat deck got quite a big boost. But Nami specifically got a big boost from the yellow Straw Hat cards, specifically Robin and Nami out of EBO3. And then we also have the EBO3 Vivi, which we will take a look at and talk about just a little bit, but it doesn't really concern America and English version of the game that much because we are going to be delayed on that by a month. So let's just go ahead and talk about the first deck. And the first one I want to talk about is Black Crocodile. So this is one that I actually had really high hopes for after reading all the cards. I thought that this deck was going to be tier 1 at least. It just reads incredibly strong on paper. Now, the leader effect doesn't read that strong. It's like give something -10 and trash you cards off the top of your deck and you can't KO anything. But that doesn't really do anything for you until you pair it with some of these other cards. So when you pair this leader effect with some of your other cards and do things like KO your own characters and get their own effects off and give minus stuff to your opponent's characters and pair them with the secret croc, like end game, you're looking at playing like Miss All Sunday on 7 Dawn to bring back Mr. 2 and another guy like the Searcher, and then you pop Mr. 2 to go into Mr. 1 and attack something. Then the next turn you just do 8 Crocodile, pop it, bring it back, 8 Crocodile again, and basically double beige something the same turn. And it's really nasty if you can chain that, but unfortunately, that's just not strong enough. It really is not strong enough, and a lot of decks are just a little bit stronger and a little bit more competent than this. I do think that this is a fun deck, and I am itching to try it out. I probably will, and I'll probably have a video for that, but for now, Croc just doesn't seem to be at the top of the ropes. But a deck that I did not expect to see in here, and I only saw one deck list, is going to be Green Purple Luffy. And I just wanted to bring it up and talk about it because there are some cards that it's been getting recently that, I mean, it just makes sense, right? We got the Purple Nami Searcher, so that's another avenue that it has to search alongside the Green Nami Searcher. And then we also have the, this is a promo Robin that basically protects any of your Straw Hat cards. So that's really crazy. Then there's this film Luffy that comes out of OP14, and it goes with the other green film cards that we got in OP13. Some good support for red-green Luffy, film Uta, stuff like that. But this gives all your 4 or more Straw Hat crew type characters plus 1,000, and also has protection built in, just like the Robin. So kind of crazy if you ask me. They're only on one of this, but still, that card breeds kind of crazy. You have the Rono Azoro from 13, and then there's also this Nami from 14 that is a blocker, rests 2 8 costs, and then sets 5 Dawn as active at the end of the turn. This card is bananas, man. I don't understand how this card was printed, and they're only on one of it. I mean, I guess that makes sense for this deck, but in red-green Luffy, that's a 4 of instantly. They're on the Sanji, they're on the Luffy, and then the new card they're on is going to be Strive to Surpass Me, Rono Azoro. You can rest one of your cards, and up to one of your leader characters gains plus 4k during this battle, and then it has a trigger to rest a 7,000 or less. So just interesting to see that this deck is still being tinkered with, and honestly, I think this deck still has a lot of potential. It's just such a good generic leader effect that any green or purple Straw Hat crew cards that come out is just itching to make this deck better. But let's go ahead and jump into the next deck list, and that's going to be Emu. And surprise, surprise, this deck doesn't really change that much, other than I have seen a couple lists running this Ground Death card. So this is a 1 cost that you can rest 2 Dawn and negate an opponent's 5 cost or less during this turn. Also has a counter to give plus 4k. So just another it never existed card. Really, really strong for Emu, and also being able to negate stuff. So negating blocker, negating card effects that are lingering, stuff like that is really, really strong, and going to be super, super helpful for Emu. But like I said, Emu is still around. It's not going to disappear. This deck is insanely powerful. It's very consistent. It's very good, and especially with the addition of another counter event, like, and I don't really think you can ask for too much else, but the next deck is going to be that Nami like I was talking about. And if you didn't watch my market watch the other day, I'll have it linked down in the description below, but Hiyori is actually getting bought out right now, the Altart PRB 1 Hiyoris and the original Altarts, because of Nami and Boa. They're playing this card like crazy to set up their life and triggers. Also, you watch out for your Otamas. This is a good trigger 2k. I mean, I think it's good, but I don't know. There's other cards you can play. But the reason that Nami is getting a lot of play right now is they have this young girl card in Japan, which is a promo. Gives a Nami a Dawn, is a draw 1 and trash 1. It's okay, but it's really this Nami card. On play, gives a rested Dawn to your leader. Then if your opponent has 3 or more life, they take a life. And then on KO, you can turn the top card of your life face up, play a character with 6,000 power or less from your hand. So this card's just crazy. This card is just super, super crazy. And then you compare it with this Robin, which is a 7/8 on play. If you have, wait, you can trash the top card of your life. If your leader has Straw Hat 2, God, I cannot talk right now. You may trash the top card of your life. If your leader has Straw Hat crew type, add 2 cards from the top of your deck to your life. Kind of crazy. You can even pair that with something like Hiyori to set up a bad card that you don't want in your hand anymore, trash it, then get 2 new ones. And then also on your opponent's turn on KO, you can deal 1 damage to your opponent. Now the wording on that is very, very specific and strong, because deal 1 damage is not trash a life. Deal 1 damage is not your opponent takes a card to their hand. Deal 1 damage is like you hitting them with a card in a battle and they did not defend it. You can actually lose the game to this card. If you are at 0 life and they run into this card, you can win the game. And that effect is actually not Straw Hat Crew locked. So if you play this in a deck, like I'm thinking Purple Yellow Croc, I love that deck. You can literally make your opponent Okama way into this card and die. It's so funny to me, and I really love that mechanic. Other than that, this list is looking pretty... Oh, wait, there is this one. If your leader's Nami, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal a card with a cost of 2 to 8, and add it to your hand. So you also get to search this Nami and this Robin. And like anything in your deck. So really crazy. Nami got quite a boost from EBO3, but again, I don't think we'll get to see this as strong as it is here because we get EBO3 a little later. But a deck that we'll also have to wait is this EBO3 Vivi. This one's super interesting to me. It gives rush to stuff and would let you trash stuff instead of getting something KO'd, but it's kind of just like the old Vivi list, but maybe a little different. I don't know. It looks really cool. I talk about it a little bit more in depth, but it's not really going to pertain to us too much right now, so I'm going to keep moving, but I did want to put this in your ear and let you know that Vivi is a deck right now. Next we have Mihawk, and this really just plays a bunch of the new Mihawk cards, and that's about it. Like, you play some cards from OP12 and a bunch of the new Mihawk cards. You got your Piranha Searcher, you have this Kiku that sets as active. It's really just a searchable 2K. You have Shimotsuki, you have Bonnie, which I think is interesting. I have seen some Supernova builds of Mihawk as well running around, but I think the Slash build is a little bit better. 2K, you have this Tashigi that can protect itself and also gives itself 2K for the turn. Like, really good card. This Piranha is the menace, though. This Piranha is the reason that everything is really good in green right now, is because this just stops 2 5 or lesses from attacking or blocking or doing anything until your next turn. And then you can also rest a card when it dies and play a 5 or less from hand. So really, really crazy. I don't know what else to say about it. It's actually broken. And then the Shanks is really broken. When this character is rested, rest an opponent 7,000 or less, and on your opponent's turn, if it's rested, all your opponent's characters get minus 1,000. Really crazy. You have some good counter events. They're only on this one and the boat, but the boat gives you an extra Dawn at the end of the turn. Law and Beppo is being bought out right now as well because it is played in this deck, as well as Bonnie. And this Mihawk is also super, super crazy. This deck is just really, really good, and I think it is consistent, but if you miss your curve, it really feels bad. You know, you want to go first, go 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 9, 10. Like, that's what you want to do in this deck, and if you miss one of those turns, it feels really bad. Next we have Jimbe, Bluefish. If you haven't checked out my if you haven't checked out my if you haven't checked out my testing video on Blue Jimbe yet, go check it out. I'll have a link to the description below. And I have a lot of fun with this deck. This is actually the list that I'm going to be messing around with, and I enjoy this deck. It is like a red deck in a blue. It is a red deck disguised as blue. It almost feels like a Zoro deck or something. I don't know. You get to play so many little guys. It feels like Rayleigh. You play so many little guys, beef them up, get so much card drawing advantage off of them, and then just rush down your opponent with the big Jimbe at the end of the game. Make them unblockable. That kind of stuff. It's super, super fun. I highly recommend this deck if you're looking for something that's going to be cheap and also super fun to play. All of these cards are going to be commons and rares, and then one super. Like, you don't have to play Marco. There's Arlongs that you also don't have to play. Like, you can play this list, just swap the Marcos out for something else, and you'll be Gucci. This deck, I think, is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be top tier. I think it's going to be probably tier 2, but it has some good matchups. It just also has a couple bad ones. Next, we have Ace. Ace is still around. Yeah, don't worry about that. It's not going anywhere, and also it doesn't really look any different. I just pulled one of the lists. This was a 12-in-1 area qualifier, so out of a lot of players, this person went almost undefeated with this list, and it looks just like most other Ace lists do. I don't really think there's going to be much changing. They're not on any 9-beards, it doesn't look like, but whatever, man. This deck's crazy strong still. I don't really think that you have to change too much, and I think you'll be fine. If you're an Ace player moving into the new meta, you'll continue to do well. I think that this deck is strong enough to keep going. So next we have Blue Yellow Boa, and this one got second place at that qualifier out of almost 1,200 people. Second place, which is crazy to me. But when you read these cards, it's not that crazy. I'm not going to go too in depth, but we have a lot of searchability. We have a lot of pieces that pair together well. And when you put them in a shell like this leader that says, when you play a trigger body on your opponent's turn, draw a card. And also when one of your dudes dies, you get to trash your opponent's life. It just makes it really, really hard for your opponent to do anything. Because if they hit you and you trigger one of these bodies, which all of them have trigger to play themselves, except for this big boa, it can play something else from your hand. The rest of these play themselves. They're always going to be drawing off their leader effect if they hit a trigger. Or you try to kill one of their bodies and you have to take a life. Like, you have to play other type of removal like bouncing or bottom decking to be able to get around their bodies and taking that life. It's very unfortunate, but that's the case. They're also playing the Sengoku in a couple lists. You can search Kuma, and you can also search your Boas and a bunch of events and stuff. You have to watch out for Slave Arrow. You also have to watch out for Perfume Femur in this deck. It's really, really nasty, and I think this will be a high tier 2 as well, maybe a low tier 1, but I don't think it'll really be able to compete with some of the other big decks like Dofi, Mihawk. I know it got second place. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, if you like this kind of content, make sure to hit it with a like, hit me with a subscribe, and turn on that ding, 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 that bell, so that you don't miss another video. But yeah, I mean, this card, Gorgon Sisters, is really, really powerful. You reveal 3 cards, and you get 3 Dawn. No. 1 Dawn to each your leader and all your characters. I thought it was 3. It's all your guys get a Dawn. It's just fucking bonkers. And it's a 2K. And it plays itself. Like, I don't know. Broken ass card. A lot of really strong cards in here. And this is just one of those decks that, like, when I load up the game and I get into a match with Boa, I'm just like, okay, here we go. So let's talk about the next deck, and that's going to be Bonnie. Bonnie is running around again because it did get a little bit of support this set. This list actually isn't running too much of any of the new support other than that Perona, but man, green's just powerful again. You know, the format is ready for it, and I think Bonnie has the place to do it. This was top 4 at that area qualifier, and I mean, maybe this player was just really, really good, but I think that green is just starting to step back into the meta. You know, cards like Carrot, cards like Law and Beppo, cards like Dofi really shut some decks down. And you pair it with cards like Perona to stop your opponent on their 3rd turn from hitting you at all. Like, and then you pair it with Bonnie Leader Effect. Like, they're only going to hit you maybe once that turn. It's kind of crazy. It's unfortunate because I really hate Bonnie as a deck, but I will have to get over myself. But let's go ahead and talk about our next deck, and that's going to be Dofi. And this is one that I think is going to be, I don't want to say best deck in the room. That's kind of hard to say so far. But I do want to say it's going to be up there. And all of this is tentative. You know, it really depends on the support we get out of EBO4, because we could get cards that completely, it makes all of this stuff irrelevant and brings back an old deck from the past, and that becomes the best deck in the room. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I think could happen that could really shake up this meta, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping we get a diverse pie chart, because I'm sick of these 3-color pie charts that we have right now. I want 20 pie chart again, like OP04 format. And this Dofi, I think, has the potential to make a lot of decks tremble, because they just have a lot of power behind it. You know, we have a double summon, we have a body that stops 3 things or kills something, you have an unkillable body, and then you have your leader effect gets to redirect attacks every single turn. So you pair that with cards that search when you get redirected or heal you when redirected, and then also some good counter events. Like, you have a force to be reckoned with. You know, when I read this card, I was like, I really want to play this, because Okama Way is one of my favorite cards, and this is Okama Way on a leader. You just have to go into a Don Quixote pirate type card. So I think that that's fair and balanced. If it was any card, I think we could see lists running a lot of crazy stuff in them. But fortunately, it is purple and only Don Quixote pirates type. But that being the case, they also have a double ramp if you kill it. And Divine Departure is being played in this deck so that you can kill some stuff and also get rid of bricks if you need to. This card's actually shooting up in price right now for the alt art because of this deck. And I also recommend, if you're wanting to play this, go ahead and grab your 8 Dofis. Go ahead and grab your 5 Rosies if you don't have them already. They're a couple bucks each, but this deck is going to be well worth playing. But let's go ahead and talk about our last deck, and that is going to be UP, Purple, Blue, Luffy. And yeah, this deck's still around. It's not that present, but it still is a menace. You still will run into it, and it's still doing the same kind of stuff it wants to do, you know, ramp fast and then play big bodies. However, instead of playing the Rosinante, at least this list isn't, and I haven't seen it in too many lists, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me know down below. But I've seen a lot of lists shifting to Roger, because you just go to 8K and you don't need as many events when you're 8K. You just use 1 and then maybe a 1K out of your hand, because your opponent can't hit you that many times. I don't know. Seems really, really good to me. it's just a super strong deck with a super strong leader and a bunch of strong cards in it. So I don't see how you could go wrong with this leader. If you're playing UP, you can still continue to play it into the next format. But that's going to be all I have for you today. I hope you found this information valuable. If you did, like I said, hit me with the like and hit it with a subscribe and that ding on that bell so that you know when the next video comes out. But I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.